All right, we are ready to start our next lesson. Today's learning goal is that students will be able to read, write, and represent whole numbers through 1 million. We already know that each digit in a number is going to represent the value of that number times the place value. So here's an example. If we have the number 218, we know that the 2 is in the hundreds place, so the value of that 2 is 2 times 100, which is equal to 200. Here's a place value chart. This one goes up through the 100 millions place. So we can see here in the ones place that we have three numbers, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. Then we move up to the thousands place, and we have the same three numbers, ones, or same three place values, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. So that would be the thousands, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s. And then we go up to the next one, and that's the millions. And so the ones would be how many millions it is. And then the next one is tens of millions, and then 100 millions. Each of these numbers or place values up here is called a period. All right, and the important thing that we need to remember is when we're writing our numbers, or we're writing the words that represent our numbers, that we're going to use commas to separate the periods, and we'll do some examples and I'll point that out when we do those. So we can represent whole numbers in three ways. The first way we call it standard form, and standard form is what we're used to using most of the time, and it's simply the number where each digit is in a specific place value, and we put all those values together, and that's what that number represents. So we have the number here, 582,030. Notice that we don't use the word and. Okay, we only use the word and when we start using decimal numbers, and we'll do that later on this year. The second way to represent numbers is to use word form. Sometimes we say written form. And again, what we're going to do this time is just like we say it, we're going to write out the words. So it's 582,030. Notice the comma after 582,000. That's because that represents a period. Okay, 582,000. That's that thousands period that we just talked about on the previous slide. So we put the comma there when we write it in standard form. We put the comma here when we write it in written form. So here's that reminder. There is a comma between the periods, and that we do not use the word and. And then the last way that we can represent numbers is in expanded form. And what we're doing in expanded form is we're taking the digit, in this case a 5, and then we're multiplying it times the place value. So that 5 is in the 100,000s place, so we're going to multiply 5 times 100,000. And then we're going to add that to the next digit times that place value. We're going to add that times the next digit times the place value. And we keep doing that all the way down the line. All right, so for our practice problems, you're going to be working out of the practice book, working on page P5. We're going to do problems number 4, 7, and 9. Once you've worked those problems out, make sure that you enter those into Moodle. So that'll help you, that'll get your grade. It'll also let you know if you got them correct or not. And if you have any questions, please make sure you bring those to class tomorrow. Once you finish the practice problems and you see what your score is, Make sure you rate yourself on our scale as to what your understanding of this material is, and write that at the top of your notes. That's all we have for today, so have a great afternoon.